Welcome back to episode 150 of the Disorganized Wizard Club podcast. My name is Alex, and joined as always by Adam.
Hello.
And by Cam.
Hey.
And we're a group of Ottawa-based players that play just about anything and everything we can qualify for. We talk about decks, tournament stories, just about anything to help you and ourselves get better at Magic.
Hopefully.
150 episodes.
That's a lot of episodes.
That is a lot of episodes.
A lot to talk about, too. Is Throne of Eldraine pre-release. We got GP Montreal in 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot going on. Been playing a lot of Magic over this past week.
Yeah, I think all of us have been playing a lot. Limited.
You know, it's funny because the set comes out so early on Arena. I feel like so much has happened in the format already, and the cards aren't even out in paper yet.
But you've just been playing it so much. Yeah, same with me, yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. But before we get into it, we've got a big announcement with episode 150.
Huge announcement.
Who even needs paper cards when you've got the DWC Organizational?
Coming back for the second time ever, the DWC Organizational free tournament. Coming to you October 20th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. MTG Arena Standard Best of 3 tournament hosted by us, the DWC.
Yeah, we're going to stream it, do a bunch of, commentary on what's going on. I'm sure we'll be confused.
Yeah.
Organized at the same time. I don't know. It's going to be a mess.
Now, not only is this tournament free and on MTG Arena, but there's also prizes. The Wizards Tower, great sponsor of this podcast from day one. WizardTower.com. Check them all out for your Magic single needs. We're happy to throw in some store credit as prizes for the tournament. All top 8 competitors are going to get some custom DWC tokens, which we just got restocked on. First place in this tournament is a box of Throne of Eldraine.
That's actually nuts. This is a free tournament.
Free tournament.
Like,
everybody.
really, tell your friends. Tell, but it's a 64-player cap, so.
It is a 64-player cap. We're opening up registration. It'll be open now with this episode. You'll be able to find the registration link in the notes for this episode. It's also going to be on our Twitter page at DWC Podcast 1 and our Facebook page, the Disorganized Wizard Club Podcast. You'll also be able to find it on our Patreon page. It's already been in our Discord. 64-player cap. First place, box of Throne of Eldraine. Second place, $50. Wizard Tower store credit. Third and fourth, $25. Fifth through eighth, $15.
And if you're not, in Canada or anything like that, don't worry about it. We're totally happy to middlemen and pick up cards or something you want, and we'll mail it to you. We're totally cool with that, as so because normally Tower ships within Canada, but if you're not in Canada, that's not a problem at all. We'll totally work as an intermediary for you to make sure you get your prize. But yeah, this is an insane tournament in my opinion. We capped it at 64 because we wanted to make sure we could run it smoothly because
it's got to stay an organizational. We wouldn't want it to devolve into a disorganizational because there's too many people.
Yeah. The first go around, we ran it for our patrons, and this time we're opening it up to the public. Just wanted to run a free tournament for everyone who supported us so far and listens to the show.
Yeah, just our listeners hopefully will get to it and sign up. And yeah, super fun. I think it's kind of sweet. So yeah, the first one, we had a small one because it was a patrons only. And then this one, hopefully in the future, maybe the third organizational, we can open it up and...
Yeah, who knows?
And when we get to like the 20th organizational, Patrick and Cedric will be doing commentary. We'll have Marshall in the booth.
That'd be nuts.
We'll become a real esports series.
Yeah, that's what we're going for here.
But yeah, check it out in the show notes of this episode or on our Facebook, Twitter page, the second DWC organizational. Sign up now before the spots are gone.
Last time was awesome. There was some wild decks. People played anywhere from, the tier 1 meta decks to just brews, man. And actually, there's a listener, I can't remember their name, but they top 4'd, I believe, if I remember correctly, which is it was during Guilds of Ravnica standard, right? Around there. No, RNA standard.
Yeah.
And this person top 8'd with just like a crazy Grixis mid-range brew. Do you remember that thing?
I do,
yeah. It had like Judith in it, right?
It was like Judith, Bolus, just all over the place. Like, it was awesome. And I watched their matches. Like, they actually, to lose in the semis, got incredibly unlucky. Like, they bricked for turns in a row. Like, it was cool, man, seeing all these people come up. People in the Discord, been talking about all their different standard brews, so it's like a sweet chance for you to test. It's pretty early on in the standard format, so I mean, speaking of which, it's wide open. So
yeah, there's been a lot of churn already in the format. I'd say a lot of really cool decks popping up. Fandom Legends has had 2 tournaments since the format came out on Arena. The first one was won by Esper Stacks, Dance with the Manse, Esper, Doom Foretold, which Dance with the Manse is a card that we had on our top 10.
Yeah, I also did say I thought Doom Foretold was way better than it looked, I think, in the pre-show, but...
Turns out you were right.
Yeah, I'm
Shocker.
still surprised actually by that one though. I thought like it, because like Punisher cards, right? You're like, okay, this card's got to be bad. Punisher cards are just always bad. But I was like, I don't know. Like this one has a lot going on.
How is it a Punisher card? They have to sack things.
Yeah, I guess like, but it's like you don't always get the best one. I guess is what I'm saying. I guess
they choose what to sack. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they still choose.
It has a benefit of the opponents can't sack lands or they can't sack tokens.
Yeah.
Which like you're always getting something that's worth a card,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah. They have the right rules set on it. That makes it. That's why I said originally that it seemed a lot stronger than it looked.
Yeah. Yeah. The second one was taken down by good old Golos, Field of the Dead deck. There's a lot happening. A lot of people brewing with Oko.
Told you that deck wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what I played. That's what I've been playing. Is just
I think
field decks.
Yeah, Golos or just Field of the Dead decks in general will continue to just clown on mid-range strategies for the rest of this format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mid-range decks just can't keep up with that many zombies.
Yeah.
They just can't 1-for-1 the Golos decks out of the game. So I think the Golos decks are probably here to stay. They're really good. I tried out the Super Friends deck as well, but I made a bunch of changes. The Fires of Invention Super Friends, for those who don't know, it's a Jeskai Super Friends list with Fires of Invention, so you can just start playing multiple Planeswalkers a turn. One of the things, the list from Fandom Legends that the guy originally played only had 1 copy of the Blue Castle Scryland, which to me was horrible. And you need multiple things to, once you have Fires of Invention, all your lands should be utility lands. You should be able to. So I changed a bunch of things. One of the things I did was I added mobilized districts.
That makes sense.
Which, let me tell you, when you just don't have to worry about your mana and you can just start serving with mobilized districts and you have them on defense as well. It's really good.
Yeah, one card I've been really impressed with the Fires Invention decks it's Fae of Wishes. Allows you to wish for just anything you want out of your sideboard.
And just answer immediately.
It doesn't matter what its mana cost is because you can just cast it for free.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pete ran somebody who's saying with Casualties of War out of the sideboard where he just got everything they had, like their fires, their planeswalker, a creature, a land. Like it's insane. So yeah, the deck's pretty good. One of the other changes I made, if people are looking into that deck though, is that it plays 27 lands, and I think that's way too much if you don't play multiple of the blue castles, or more importantly, multiple copies of Drawn from Dreams, which is the first thing I did was cut some cards and add Drawn from Dreams.
Yeah, Fires into Drawn from Dreams feels like cheating.
Yeah. So I cut a couple Saheelis because the card just never impressed me. And I'm not sure it was right because in some matchups it's really good. But I've been playing around with the deck. But
someone in our Discord was playing a similar, I think they were playing Grixis, but a similar like Super Friends Fires of Invention. And they were saying that they've been finding that they almost deck themselves because they just they added more card draws or turn through. And so we were talking about it, and a Midnight Clock seems really good in that deck because like you recycle everything and you just have all these lands to dump our counters onto it that you're not using.
A very good mana sink.
That's
you could say
nuts, actually.
Yeah.
Boy, that's actually bonkers. Holy.
Yeah, I can tell you're excited about that one.
Yeah, I didn't even think. Actually, I do have one Midnight Clock in that deck as well. Like I'm putting a 1 of in every deck, and then I just never draw it, so I don't know if it's playable yet. I still haven't figured it out.
Yeah, you can draw in for dreams for your Midnight Clock so that when you start running low, you just tap all your mana into it.
That's actually pretty sick. Yeah, no, it's cool. Fires is a super fun card.
Yeah, I've yet to play with it, but it looks neat.
Dude, it's fun.
I've been saving up playing standard until after the GP. All I've been doing is testing limited and testing modern for the MCQs. I have like 95 unopened packs on Arena right now because I'm just waiting until I'm done my limited testing.
Red-black aggro is obviously good.
Yeah.
If people are looking for ways to go, like I think the ramp decks are also very good. Like blue-green has just such incredible power right now.
Yeah.
It has all the ramp, Once Upon a Time, Oko.
Yeah, Oko's been
you can play bug. Cam has some hilarious bug combos actually that I think maybe are worth mentioning on the show, which is one of my favorite standard combos now that Cam came up with and I hadn't seen anywhere else.
I thought I thought of it and I hadn't seen it anywhere else. It was sort of my creation, which was I had 2 Dreadhorde Invasions in a deck and some Okos because you make an army it has a counter on it. If you plus your Oko on it, it becomes a 3/3 with a counter. So you make a 4/4. That's no longer an army. So your next turn, you get another counter.
Yep.
So you just make a 4/4 every turn.
That's your turn 2, turn 3.
But I was only playing 2 Dreadhorde Invasion, so I didn't actually assemble it myself. And then I played a mirror match where my opponent did it to me.
Yeah.
And it crumpled me. So I'm like, well, that's proof of my idea. So I added more Dreadhorde Invasions.
Yeah, I saw people talking about that interaction on Twitter when Oko got spoiled, and as people think it would be really good. And it seems like insane.
Yeah, I mean, turn 3.
Yeah.
Starting on turn 3, you make a 4/4 every turn for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oko also plays very well with Vraska. So yeah, I've been trying like some bug mid-range decks.
Yeah, Vraska's like the format of Vraska is unreal right now in standard.
Yes.
It kills Oko.
Kills a lot of important things now.
And it can sacrifice food tokens to draw a card.
Oh, it sure can.
Yep.
It sure can.
It's very good with Goose.
Dude, I'm listening.
Goose also very good.
Goose is
Loose.
That Goose? Loose.
Yeah, you know, there's a card we missed actually on the like sleepers, which was Woodland Champion or whatever it's called. The 2-mana 2/2 that whenever you make a non-token, or sorry, whenever a token enters the battlefield, you put that many counters. You know it works for non-creature tokens?
Just any token. Yeah, it
So-
triggers off food.
That thing gets huge.
Dude, with Oko,
Yeah.
that's a big lad.
Yeah.
Hefty boy.
So yeah, been trying a bunch of stuff like that. Bug lists. Tried to put Rankle in a different couple different places. I'm not sure I know exactly where I'd like to play him, but that card also just
I've seen that card do some work in various lists.
I've seen a couple of people playing mono black aggro decks with Rankle, and it's looked really impressive.
I was playing it in Esper Hero, where I also included a disinformation campaign. Well, 4 disinformation campaigns to go with the thought erasures, thinking that like if I draw the removal half of my deck, then Rankle continues to serve as a good edict. And if I've drawn the discard half of my deck, then Rankle can empty out the rest of their hand. It sort of plays well with whatever you've happened to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And that card plays well with the Fairy 3. And yeah, I got games where like I got to start using Rankle's middle ability. You each draw 1 and lose 1, because we would each draw a card. That would be their 1 card in hand. I would then pick up my disinformation campaign with the Fairy, play it again, make them discard that card, draw another one.
Seems good. Yeah.
Somebody's got to just Rankle plus Narset someone though, right?
Oh yeah. But they can draw a card on their turn.
Their turn. Yeah, right. My bad. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Wow, Narset should just. No, I'm just kidding.
Rankle and Narset don't really get along.
Yeah,
but
my bad.
Oh, Rankle and Liliana, let me tell you, you sack a zombie,
Yeah.
they sack whatever. Liliana draws you a card,
Boy, that's actually nuts.
so that your discard doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, Rankle's good. Really surprisingly good.
Also, just like it's a 3/3 haste flyer. It just domes planeswalkers.
You know, it's sweet, Stelly, on another unrelated note.
What's that?
Once upon a time, it finds Tron lands and all that. Not only does it find your Bazaar of Baghdad, when they wasteland you or strip mine, it finds your next Bazaar of Baghdad when you actually cast a spell, because you don't cast spells.
That's true. So
that's what makes it so busted in Dredge and Vintage. I was talking about this with somebody. I was like, wait a minute. It's not that it gets your first.
You multi Bazaar, and then when you draw that, it's still free.
And
I see.
That's nuts.
That is very good. Oh, a note about this card. Dylan had commented on this, and I've also noticed it. People on Arena are casting their Once Upon a Time at the wrong upon a time.
yeah.
They're just like, okay, so I understand that it's free if it's the first spell you've cast, and that means that if you want, you can cast it on your opponent's upkeep before you've had a turn. But like, you should wait until right before you're actually going to cast something to gather information, or you're about to miss a land drop. Yep. Otherwise, like, I've seen people just cast it on their first turn and then play a scry land. That's wrong. That land was not the land you got off Once Upon a Time.
Mm-hmm. So I've been playing a lot of Once Upon a Time. I haven't been playing Standard, but I've been testing a bunch of Tron, trying various different iterations of the deck with like 17 lands, 18 lands, trying out more creatures in the main deck, seeing if it works. And I'm still not sure if it's actually good or not. It opens up a range of more keepable hands when you mulligan, but it doesn't necessarily make your 7s better.
Yeah. Okay. So I talked about somebody about this, about like its possibilities in Standard as well. I think it was Pete where I was saying it just depends on whether it's air. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's too much air that it takes away from the power level of your deck, then that becomes an issue.
I think,
and a lot of the modern decks already have enough ways to find consistency Although I will say, you know what is sweet? These creature adventure cards, letting Oath and Nissa in Modern find them. How is Oath and Nissa in Modern not just Ponder now? That it can get Murderous Rider and like... No, I'm serious. That's a real question. Is that like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's like pretty interesting.
I'm not sure if any of the adventure cards are on power level for Modern.
I know, but like...
That's the problem.
Yeah, well, actually, like, Murderous Rider is close. Because it's like a zombie knight, which is relevant. It would need a lot of help, but I'm saying like it does have a relevant creature type. Zombie does matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oath of Nissa, though, with adventure cards, very good.
Yeah.
I agree.
Just an unrelated note.
Yeah.
Of like, this set has just like weird rule mechanics and structures. You know what I mean? Like,
speaking of, you know what a common defense for black-based aggressive creature decks against board wipes have been? They just duress you so that you can't wrath them. You can't duress Realmcloak Giant.
No, you can't. You know what? Speaking of modern interactions too, did you know that you can cascade into adventure spells and cast them even if they cost more than the spell you're cascading
If
with?
the creature costs less?
Yeah. So even if
if
the adventure costs 7, but the creature costs 2, and you cast a 3-mana cascade spell, you can still cast the 7-mana adventure card.
That's now we're looking at modern power level.
Yeah.
I guess just because it is only the creature anywhere.
Yeah, because with split cards, they change the rules, right? So the mana cost of the card is the combined mana cost of both
but these
cards
aren't
on a
split
split card,
cards.
but they're not split cards. The converted mana cost of adventure cards is always the creature's cost. It doesn't ever take into account the adventure
Until
cost.
it's on the stack, yeah.
So yeah, you can cascade into it and cast either half of it, which is interesting.
Yeah,
That's really strange.
That has
Yeah.
implications.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's why adventure split cards used to be good in Modern, because you could cascade into, and crazy like Boom Buster.
Yeah. Boom Bust was the big one.
There was that combo deck that played it was the Gruul split card from Return to Ravnica. What was it? I can't remember. But it was a combo deck, and you would cascade into it, and then they changed the rule, and then that deck was just not playable anymore.
Yeah.
But adventure cards still work that way, which is interesting.
That is interesting. Man, Realmcloak Giant, though, you lose that thing in Limited yet?
No.
Dude, it feels bad.
I have made some people lose in Standard playing it in Golos. It's pretty good there.
Yeah, it seems really good in Golos.
Cam was talking about how Beanstalk Giant might be good in Golos, too.
And not might be. It is good.
It's just an 11-11 later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think massive.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it
I
plays
can
a
see
similar role as Elvish Rejuvenator, just as a 3-drop that gets a land. And yeah, late game, it's just a huge blocker to go alongside your zombies. Like if your zombies can't attack cleanly, or if you need your zombies to chump, like it can just start swinging.
Mhm.
Doesn't get killed by your Realmcloak Giant, so you can kill everything and then attack. Yeah, no, but even just as like a 3 CMC, get a land. It's been good. Yeah, no, I've been playing Golos with it, with 4 of those. I only opened 1 Realmcloak Giant, so I was playing 1 and some time wipes, which I think you still want a mix of that card. Because there's been multiple games where like a Realmcloak Giant wrath them, then later cast Realmcloak Giant, then later wrath them with time wipe, picking up my Realmcloak Giant, and then wrath them with Realmcloak Giant again.
Tribal Giants.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Picking up adventure creatures with time wipe is something I am interested in for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Beanstalk has been very good in Golos. And I saw some other people, like some streamers, playing Golos lists without Beanstalk Giant. And like they were playing Once Upon a Time, which I don't think is right because it misses all your growth spirals and your circuitous routes. Like I think you should really only play Once Upon a Time in a deck that's mostly only creatures and lands. Yeah, no, Beanstalk Giant's been very good for me in it.
It's sort of like the Oath and Nissa rule, you know?
Yeah, it just like smooths out your curve.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think the Golos deck that won the second Phantom Legends event wasn't playing Beanstalk
Okay, it wasn't
Giant.
right, but it's playing Grazer, which is also...
Yeah. But yeah, it had Grazer, has Once Upon a Time.
And 4 Realmcloak Giants.
Yeah.
Realmcloak Giant is just like actually a nuts card.
They're also not being greedy. Like they just have Bant colored spells. I was playing like Golos with like 4-color Golos with some Casualties of War. And I think some other black removal maybe, but like black sideboard cards. But yeah, like you can do stuff like this. Yeah. I do think Beanstalk Giant should be in it though. It's got to be better than Arboreal Grazer.
Card feels real bad and limited. It's unbeatable because they had a Beanstalk Giant play when they played it. I was like,
Realmcloak Giant, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Beanstalk Giant, which also is just very hard to deal with.
Yeah, but they like wrapped me and I was like, yeah, I'll take 8. Just hit me with their giant, giant. It's their giant. Dumb card. Stupid RAS and limited.
We've talked about standard long enough. Let's jump into some limited with GP Montreal on the horizon. I think we're all playing the main event, aren't we?
That's the plan.
I still got to register.
That's fine.
Hopefully it hasn't filled up, but I heard the Fnatic packages are almost sold out.
Yeah, so the Fnatic package is almost sold out, but there was less than 500 players in the GP main event last I heard the other day.
Oh,
yeah,
it was like 400 maybe.
I bet at most there's gonna be 800.
Yeah,
it'll be a small GP.
Yeah, I can't. What was GP Montreal last year?
I missed it.
Oh, no, you were there. We were all there.
Oh, but I played sides. My bad. But it was tiny, dude.
Yeah, it was
remember?
really small, I remember?
There was like 600 people. It was so small.
And that was that limited?
Yeah, it was Guilds of Ravnica limited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, you're right. It's tiny. I think GP attendance is so down because I know it sounds crazy, but paying $100 is just kind of bad EV. Like people are just like, yeah, I'm not taking it. Why? I'll just play side events.
Yeah, it is expensive. Let me tell you. But yeah, let's talk some limited. So, Cam, you played paper pre-release.
I played 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get out to any paper pre-releases, but I played a bunch of sealed on Arena.
Same.
Adam, you
I also played some sealed on Arena and done some drafts so far.
Yeah. Initial thoughts on the limited format?
It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not gonna. We're like veterans here, you know. We're just like old hat. We're not gonna be like, this format's nuts. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of experience in drafts, so maybe the draft format is just incredible, and I haven't really drafted enough yet. But sealed's whatever. It's sealed. There's nothing. I don't know. My favorite personally, even though I played the same deck every time basically, but my favorite sealed format in recent memory was Hour. You know,
Hour of Devastation.
Oh,
Hour
yeah. You played the same deck every time because you just play 5 colors.
Yeah, you just play 5 color pile. It was awesome. I loved it. Like that's also my favorite archetype in any limited format. Mm-hmm. And so I like that format, but I also thought that format was really good. Like I like those sealed formats. I thought Amica and Hour were both pretty good sealed formats. I thought the archetypes were pretty clearly defined and almost everything worked towards that archetype. And I thought the synergy and sort of power level interaction was really cool and really well done. I just liked that format. It's actually one of my favorite limited formats in recent memories. For sealed draft, I think a lot of them have been great, but this one is okay. It's like fine. My initial thoughts on it are.
I think it has some of the things you were talking about there. Like it has clear archetypes, which you can get rewarded for having enough cards to synergize towards.
Absolutely.
I guess the main complaint I have so far is like how bad the fixing is. Like you kind of have to just do an archetype. There's not a bunch of room for flexibility and sort of creativity.
Oh yeah, I agree.
But outside of that, like I'm still trying to get a sense for like what cards are important in each archetype, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm still figuring that out. That's going to happen when I get to play more drafts because obviously in sealed you don't get that same sort of synergy that you can pull off in draft. But yeah, like this format, you know, synergy still matters. And not in the sort of M20 style that we talked about previously, where it was like 1+1 combo cards. Because that's not really synergy. That's just the 1+1 style card combo. But this is more overall synergy, like knights, you know, black, green food.
Everything can work with everything else.
You know, blue, red, draw my second card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The in draft, I've been finding the better archetypes are the ones that are almost entirely solid in like one main color, like almost monocolor with just a light splash.
Yeah, so your adamant's easier.
So adamant's easy.
Those decks I've been having the most success with.
That makes sense because the consistency is high as well.
Yeah. I do enjoy the draft format a lot more than the sealed format so far. I find the games in both are very grindy. Like food just like tacks on so many turns to the game, and all your cards being a lot of your cards being 2 spells in one just adds a whole another aspect to the game as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think the draft format will be better than the sealed. I mean, I always think the draft format's better than the sealed, but because it's sort of this combination of you needing to play like a generally synergistic deck in order to keep up, combined with the fact that there's not enough fixing, that it feels like a lot of sealed pools don't have a deck in them, a good deck. Like you don't have enough fixing to include enough synergy, so you end up just having to play 2 colors that are kind of medium.
Yeah, so I've
which
had
can
that.
be avoided in draft.
I've had that same experience, especially too because a lot of the good uncommons are the hybrid ones, which aren't splashable.
Yeah, I don't think
Like
they're
at
actually
all?
2-color cards. They're 1 archetype cards.
Yeah. So, and I've had plenty of pools where I have a bunch of like really powerful uncommons that are just not playable in any form of my decks because those color combinations are garbage, or like not a lot of the colors are very deep, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I definitely feel that in sealed, that a lot of the colors don't feel super deep. Like I would often be scrambling for my 19th through 23rd card.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It'd feel like the first, 17 to even maybe 20 were not slam dunks, but I was confident in my picks. And then it was like, oh wait, I think I'm out of playables.
Yeah.
And I felt like maybe half or more of my sealeds went down that way, which I thought was really bad. That's why I said I think it's fine.
Mhm.
I'm really hesitant to say I like a sealed or limited format where you can just get that many stone cold unplayable format.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've like laid out. Because normally when I build a sealed pool, like sort, decide which colors I'm going to play, then like lay out playables in a curve, and then like make cuts. It's been a long time since I've got to that stage and haven't had to make cuts because there's not enough cards.
Yeah, I think that happens, but I think also this format, the adventure cards warp our understanding of playable because you'll play some pretty bad creatures just to get the other side of them.
Yeah,
So that kind of skews things.
that too. Also, like early in a format, I definitely like misevaluate cards, and
Well, everyone does. That's normal.
yeah. So like maybe it's because of that this is happening. But yeah,
But speaking of evaluations, we can probably talk about some of the ones that have stood out for us at least.
yeah, we got some cards that we have evaluated.
Yeah, let's kick things off with our top commons. So, top common in black, bacon to a pie is a pretty clear
I don't even-
slam dunk.
I
Yeah.
don't think this is even remotely close.
Yeah, it's not.
The
at
only
all.
way this could be better is if it was baked into a Saskatoon pie.
Cam is a big Saskatoon berry aficionado.
It is the best pie. And if you live in a part of the world that doesn't have Saskatoon pie, you should at some point visit a part that does and eat some.
I
Yeah.
can't say I've ever had a Saskatoon pie.
Oh,
Well,
dude, shame.
You
on
heard my recommendation.
Mm.
They grow like all over the place where we're from, so you can just literally walk into the wild and
Best
pick them.
pie, hands down.
Yeah,
And they are, dude, they're so good.
never had a
Best, a lot
berry
of
or
stuff.
anything
Best
like
jam,
that.
best syrup. Well, maybe not
Yeah,
best
the
syrup,
jam's
but
incredible. Saskatoon berries, they literally just grow everywhere in the wild. You
yeah,
pick
no,
them in
I
the
would just
coulees,
walk
like,
down the like gravel road that my parents' house was on, and they're just in the ditch. You just pick them,
Yeah.
make a pie
Yeah, make people just,
all over the place.
wow.
But yeah, Saskatoon.
and they're incredible.
Yeah, they're best pie. It's just it's like I don't even try and argue with people who tell me that I'm wrong because they haven't had it, and I just know that they are naive and they are blindfolded.
Also, pie over cake, right?
Yes.
Because like angel food cake is so
How
medium.
dare you hesitate?
Well, I don't know. Ice cream cake is pretty. damn
Ice cream
good.
cake is a nut, but that's
Not cake.
not cake. You know what I mean? That's
Okay.
cheating.
Sure,
That's just ice
sure.
cream with like incredible fudge and
That's,
cookies
there's
packed
a
into
lot
it.
of things that are better than pie if they're also cake shaped. Like
Yeah.
All right.
But pie is like
pie, yeah, way better.
just good god tier, right? Like
Yeah.
it's October, so now I get to eat pumpkin pies.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
pumpkin pies are
insane.
the bee's
Yeah.
knees. They're
They're
like
like
a top 5 pie.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, how many people are just raging right now? It's like, how dare you?
How do you what?
Say pie's better than cake.
Oh, it's a fact.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
DWC, we're a piecast.
But bake into a pie. Bonkers. That was really good. Yeah. But
Best black common.
I
baked
think it
into a
is.
pie.
It's just the fact it gives you food. It's the instant speed. Card just nuts.
It's costed well. Yeah.
I mean,
it's
I
just-
think no one's really going to debate us on this one.
No. Green best common, fierce witch stalker, format of 4/4 trampler for full. That's
For
huge.
4.
that makes a food.
And it makes a food token.
It just
Yeah,
it's big in the format. It has trample, so it gets around a lot of the other format.
big for the format.
Yeah. The food, like, it synergizes, like, yeah.
It's
I
in
love this card.
One of the best archetypes. I think black green food
I
is a
agree.
very good archetype in sealed. I'm speaking to sealed, not draft, because my experience is lacking in draft. But yeah, in sealed, I think black green food is one of the better decks. And I think it's a lot on the back of this card. Fierce Witch Stalker does so much. It's big.
Mhm.
It's a huge creature. 4 mana 4/4 is great, and the fact that it comes with the food helps you stabilize if you miss some early plays or you're getting aggroed out. Card's insane.
Yeah. Best red common, Scorching Dragonfire. Shocker that the best red common is a 2 mana
Instant
deal
speed
free
removal.
damage.
A lot of the format is 3/3s and 2/3s, I've
Yeah.
found.
Yep. A lot of X3 in this format and a lot of early threatening X3s.
Yeah. Yeah. Exiling, not irrelevant either.
No, there's
on
like
that
Witch's
card.
Cottage and stuff can bring back creatures. Like,
You can get a guy's
There's a lot of good black cards that get creatures back from your
you
graveyard.
can get a guy's Wicked Wolf with it on the stack.
Mhm.
The
Yep.
food trigger.
I've done that.
Yep.
Yep.
Feels
was-
pretty good, hey?
feels very
Because otherwise, that Wicked Wolf is going to win the game on the spot.
Sure is.
Because that card is
yeah, it's very good.
busto.
I've had it in 2 drafts now, and yeah, it's just that card messed up.
Best white common, Ardenvale Tactician.
Yeah, this one's close because I think the white commons are pretty medium.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it could be
yeah.
trapped in the tower.
I have not been impressed by white. It's either this or Trapped at the Tower.
Yeah. The only thing is, Trapped in the Tower is a little.
We'll talk about some of the
Yeah.
reasons why it doesn't line up. I mean, can I just make the argument that maybe it's Fiery Guide Mother because just jumping is the only
Fairy
way you
Guide.
win?
Dude, that I said this in the pre-show. I actually think that card's really good.
I
Wait,
think so too.
I lose to it all the
Well,
time.
Guys, if your creature is trapped in the tower
Yeah,
and you Fairy Guide Mother it, it falls off because it's enchant creature without flying.
that's true.
I did not think of this until now.
Dude, Trapped in the Tower, not best common.
Yeah,
No, you're right.
confirmed.
But anyway, yeah, white. We'll talk about. But we haven't been impressed with it as a group. Maybe we're missing something. Like it's totally possible. But at least in sealed, I've just found white to be incredibly underpowered.
Yes, I agree. And then this one for blue, we were unsure. It's either Tomb Raider or Witching Well. And we couldn't really make a decision.
I think it's Witching Well,
I would say Witching Well, but
but it's super close. It
Yeah.
just depends on the deck. I mean, the best uncommon is that fairy.
Fairy Vandal.
No,
Yeah.
the 3 mana is that the counter.
Hypnotic Sprite.
Oh,
is the mana.
Hypnotic Sprite. You're talking
Hypnosprite.
Hypnotic Sprite. Yeah.
That's the best uncommon.
It's
that,
very,
that
card's
card's
good.
really
Hypno
good.
Sprite is busted.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as commons, I think these are pretty close to what the best commons are. We probably missed some, or we're missed some, but I think these are sort of things to think about if you're forced into a really awkward second or third pick, is to
Yeah.
look towards these.
Well, the thing about these cards is the only ones I'd really consider first picking are Bacon to a Higher, Scorching Dragonfire.
Yeah, because it's sealed removal
Yeah.
over, the order of picks goes bombs removal.
Yeah. Also, we wanted to touch on some standout uncommons. So starting with the hybrid uncommon cycle. I
Yeah,
think
Resolute Rider.
Resolute Rider.
Get at me.
That one is super hard to deal with.
That card is actually so insane.
Mhm.
It is just absolutely bonkers. It gets to a point where if you draw that card late game and they don't have flyers, how do people beat this thing?
Even if they do have flyers, like you can just also gain 4 a turn.
Yeah, exactly. You can just gain life every turn. Yeah, the card is just incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm a huge Resolute Rider fan. I couldn't believe it when I first saw it. I had it in one of my early sealed pools, and I was like, am I reading this card right as an uncommon? Because it seems like you don't lose once it's who cares if it has 2 toughness?
Mhm.
It's
It's
not going to
indestructible.
matter.
Yeah. These cards I feel are a little bit pushed because their mana costs are actually like super restrictive because they really tie you into like one specific archetype. They're not easily splashable. being
Yeah.
4 hybrid mana costs, you know?
Yeah, a note about these cards, like I tried to play a couple of them in a like quote off-color deck. Like I tried to play Lock Dragon, the blue-red one, in a red-green deck. It's basically uncastable. I don't think you can risk doing this.
No, Lord, no. Splashing in this format's really difficult.
Yeah. Lock Dragon though, so one of the archetypes I've had most success with is the blue-red draw 2 deck. And that Lock Dragon is just an absolute all-star. In
Yeah,
that
it's very
deck.
good at drawing
Yeah.
a second
Yeah.
card.
It draws second cards all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Every turn, you could say.
Yeah, that card snowballs like crazy.
And even just a flyer in the air. Like
Yeah, it does everything. It has an immediate effect on the ETB, and then every turn you get to repeat the effect. And that archetype too, I find the best payoff in it is actually not the card you would think. Like when you think about that card, if you're thinking uncommons or commons, you might jump to the enchantment.
I thought Improbable Alliance.
Yeah.
It's
pretty medium.
It's not.
It's actually not as good as you think.
I know.
I got smashed trying to play it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
When you first see it though, I'm like, wow, this card's gonna pop off.
Yeah.
It's actually like,
It's
not
the
great.
best one. When it's in combination with the other ones, it's good. Mad Ratter, nuts.
Yeah, Mad Ratter where it's at.
Crazy. Fairy Vandal, those two are the only ones I actually care about. And if you're lucky enough to open up Iron Crag Pyromancer, you're laughing.
I mean, yeah, it's a rare.
But
We don't talk about rares in our limited pool because none of us have ever been that lucky.
yeah, but those two uncommons are by far the best payoffs for that strategy.
Phil just spit his drink out when he heard me say I was never that lucky. For those who don't know, listeners, he complains about how lucky I am constantly, which is also just not true.
Mm-hmm. Another impressive uncommon, Lucky Clover.
Yeah, so this is a card that you wouldn't be sure about, I think. It's a little, just doubling adventures. It's a do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And normally I'm very anti do nothing. But man, do you get to make up for it. Because it only takes a couple. And then your adventure, it's the card that doubles your adventure cards. And you can choose new targets. I got a guy with a Murderous Rider.
That's
let me tell you.
maybe the best case scenario.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Well, actually, I won more games with Fairy Guidemother.
Yeah,
it was,
I was going to say,
Black,
have you
White
ever had
Knights.
someone double jump two creatures?
Yeah, no, that's also.
I
very
cast
good.
2 Fairy Guidemothers in the same turn, so I just jumped, and my deck was garbage, and I ended up getting like 5 or 6 wins with it, where I just played the 2/1 lifelink for 2 Knight that has the 1 mana adventure card,
It's Smitten Swordmaster.
and just jumping them with Fairy Godmothers over and over again, just killing them. I had like 4 Fairy Godmothers in my pool, or Godmothers, and I was like, I mean, I guess I'm playing it. Like, my deck's so bad. Yeah, I just jumped those dumb 2, just played them on turn 2 and just started jumping them. And then, my turn 3 was like, jump it, take 4, play a Fairy Godmother, go. Next turn, jump it, take 5, play a Fairy Godmother, go.
Yeah.
And they have lifelink. I'm at 30. I have 2 1/1s. Like, I'm gonna get you eventually. You know what I mean? Like, I killed a lot of people like that, man. Maybe Fairy Godmother is the best common. Like, I don't know. You'd think it's trash, but like, that it's a sorcery really hurts though.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge problem. This is an instant, I would say. Like, okay, yeah, I agree.
And Fairy Guidemother, like, it's really, really bad if you ever fall a step behind.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a dead draw.
Yeah, but I had the 1/2 crappy card combo of 2 drop with lifelink and 2 Fairy Guidemother, which is a combo.
Yeah. So yeah, if we're casting Lucky Clovers though, like the green-white adventure archetype is one of the stronger ones. If you have a Wandermare in your pool.
So I had a pool with that and double Wandermare.
It's pretty good.
I had no rares in my deck. The only rare I played in my deck was the Dumb Tree Folk, which was terrible because it's a 3 mana 2/2.
Yeah, that Tree Folk rare doesn't make any sense to me in this format because you can't splash. And it doesn't let you splash. It only makes mana of colors of permanents you already have.
Yeah. It's awful.
What? Yeah.
But I still played it, in my deck because ramping can be occasionally good because I had multiple of the Tree Folk where you put 2 counters on and then the 6 mana 6/5. So just ramping to that was good enough.
Yeah.
And it was really good just putting more counters on my Wandermare, like making my Wandermares huge. Wandermare, I think, is one of the archetype basics. If you're going to choose an uncommon to go in on, I think Wandermare is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, it's out of all of the non-hybrid cost uncommons, it's one of the better ones.
Yeah, Grumgully also though up there.
Grumgully, incredibly powerful.
That card is messed up, dude.
He's just generously giving out wins.
First off, a 3 mana 3/3 in limited is already super good. Like that's very good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stats.
That's just great rate. But now, when I first read this card, I was like, what's the deal here? Like, why are they all? This is just an anthem, essentially.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, it is.
Except +1/+1 counters are better than
an anthem. Like, this card's nuts. It's an uncommon. It's so good. Mm-hmm. I think this card is a first pickable card. I think this card's just legitimately a bomb.
It's definitely super powerful. The whole, there's a lot of good non-human, text cards that are very interesting in this format.
All the uncommon. So I do like limited sets. And this is one of them where uncommons are the defining features, not rares and mythics. It feels like you can have a super powerful limited deck with your just uncommons. Mm-hmm. And I think that is the sign usually of a pretty good limited format. So I'm pretty happy with that. I like that these uncommons are pretty strong. You think to some of the best limited formats in recent years, they've been around, you would build your decks around uncommons and plan towards opening and getting uncommons in the draft because you can't bank on rares. So it just feels like RNG, whereas you can plan on like, okay, well, I just need to get like, my Savvy Hunter in pack 3 and I'll be okay. My deck will really come together. And that feels good. I think that's like a deck building reward. So
and I
like that that's the case.
I think you'll be able to do that more often in this draft format because the like 4 CMC hybrid cards, because they're so unsplashable. If you are the player in those two colors, like they'll come to you in drafts.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So another card in this set that historically hasn't been that good, Scalding Cauldron.
Yeah, dragon file, whatever, dragon fire.
Yeah, like we've seen this card under a different name before
with different stats, with different or whatever. There's tons of versions of this card.
This time around, it's super good.
They got the numbers right.
X3s in this format are nuts. Dude, there's a ton of X3s. You got to kill Grumgully, man, or he's gonna get you.
Yeah, it kills almost all the flyers, all the like good playable flyers in the format.
Yep.
It kills a lot of the good uncommons.
All the night cycle, all the 4-mana hybrid creatures, kills them all.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those cards that I'm happy to put in every single deck.
I'll play as many copies as I can, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it just feels like a removal spell. Yeah. Sure, it's mana intensive, but in limited, going to take that risk.
I started out including one as like I don't have that much other removal. I guess I have to play this effect. Thinking the same way I have in other pasts that like you include this if you are desperate. And yeah, now I'm what Adam just said. Like I will play a lot of them. Like they just are very good.
Another cycle of standout cards in this set, the like Sire cycle.
Yeah, the Knights.
Yeah, those they're all like crazy good.
Dude, Sir Conrad the Grim.
Conrad just
holy moly.
Card should have been a rare.
Should have been a rare.
Yeah.
It doesn't need anything else. The other ones, okay, the red one and the black one, in my opinion, are the most powerful because, for example, the green one sort of needs something else.
Yeah.
Right? The white one sort of needs something else. And Sir Eleanor can be a pretty rough draw late if you're struggling, if you have 0 cards in hand and your top deck against a 1/4.
Yeah, Sir Eleanor has been both very good and both embarrassing for me. So
right. Whereas I think at just the base power level of just their floor and their ceiling, like Conrad and Kara are both just the most powerful. The red and black. Mm-hmm. Conrad is humongous.
Conrad dodges a lot of the removal in the format.
He's a 5/4. He's huge.
Is a massive clock on his own. Is a clock if anything else is attacking. If nothing's attacking, you just pay mana. It's a clock. Like
you just start mana sinking into it and just milling them out and killing them.
Yeah, Conrad, just insane.
Yeah. Speaking of mill's actually an incredibly real strategy in this format, which you don't see too often.
Well, do you know how you get rid of storytell or fairy tales? You attack the libraries.
No, this is an oral tradition.
No, but even cards like that you would on their face seem unplayable, like
the 1 mana mill and then it's an 0/4.
Yeah.
What mill? It's nuts.
It's actually really good.
Well, also there are a decent amount of cards that are like, Drown in the Lock, like Blueback Mill is actually a good deck because Drown in the Lock is an incredibly powerful card. And once you get it online and limited, like it's really good.
So many of the games just go long enough. It comes down to cards in library a lot of the time, I find. So yeah, with something like Sir Conrad, I mean, this card is just without even the mill.
The card just on its own is bonkers.
Yeah.
It's just first pickable.
I think I mentioned it in one of the chats I was in about Magic where I had a Sir Conrad and I was kind of a little ahead on board. So thank goodness. Because they had played a Garrick and then some other, like questing beast. And I was like, wow, this deck has decks. And I top decked Conrad when I already had a pretty big board. And I was like, wait a minute. Just like played Conrad and started serving. I was like, I'll just kill him. Like I just ignored Garrick. I was like, I'm going in, And then he was dead 2 turns later. I was like, okay, well, because he took just 1 billion damage from Sir Conrad. The red one also just obscene. I think the ranking of power order goes black, red, blue, green, white.
Yeah.
Just because I think white is just not the best color, but the white one is incredibly powerful, but the green one can just go nuts if you can protect it, because there's a lot of pump spells.
Okay, I agree, because white's not a strong color.
Yeah, on its own. Okay, yeah. In a vacuum, it goes white, green last, in my opinion. It goes black, red, blue, white, green.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But they're all very, very good. The cycle is incredible. I wasn't sure that they'd all be good, but I think they're all nuts.
Mm-hmm. The other cycle that's turned out to be pretty good, the color hoser cycle, the cards like Archon of Absolution and Red Cap Melee, Oakham Adversary. Those cards are just straight up playable, even if your opponent aren't playing the colors that they're protecting from, because their other effects are just actually really good.
Yeah, the black one probably not playable, but yeah, the ones you mentioned.
The white one is obnoxious.
Yeah, that Archon
I
is.
hate that card. Every time I try and play white, I feel like I just play against it 3 or 4 rounds in a row, and I just can't do anything. Like, I just lose.
Yeah.
It just, you know what I mean? You just fall behind immediately and you never recover.
Because, like, yeah, the blue-white or the white-based decks that I've seen, the creatures aren't massive. You're kind of trying to race, especially if you're playing something like white-blue. I guess you have big creatures if you're in, like, green-white adventure. But generally, the white creatures are, like, sort of smaller. You're trying to race, which that card just entirely cuts you off from. You can't establish a board and attack. You can't even attack into it. Yeah, it's just really annoying.
We've seen cards like this next one in previous sets too, but Brimstone Trebuchet is a very, very real win condition in this format.
Yeah, I was really impressed with it as a common.
You know, with how grindy games are, and a lot of the time boards stall out, and it's just a continuous source of damage.
Also, a lot of the blue creatures are 2/1 flyers,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a 1/3 reach, which is, it's not an 0/3 reach. A lot of the times these have been 0/3s without reach. Thermo Alchemist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This card just can block a lot of the stuff going on in the air and just does a lot of damage, man. I don't know. Like, this card impressed me quite a bit.
Yeah, trebuchets are the superior siege weapons to catapults.
Yeah. No doubt. Card was good. Oh, next on our list, I already talked about. I mean, I'm willing to keep going on.
Hypnotic Sprite.
Hypnotic Sprite. Oh, my God. Hypnotic Sprite just so busted, man. You get somebody's adventure card. That's just always what happens. They try and cast the part of an adventure card. You're like, yeah, counter that. Next turn, I have a flyer. You
Countering adventure spells feels so good.
It's incredible.
It's like,
now that you mention
this is why Hypno Sprite is so good in the format, is because it just counters adventure spells.
dude, have you ever killed a creature in response to your opponent trying to pump it with an adventure spell?
That's what I was just about to say. Now that we mention it, that's why I think white is so weak, because a lot of white's adventures are pump spell creatures that can get blown out.
Yeah, you could get blown out too easily. Yeah, oh yeah, lots. This is why I think that red-black is the best color combo in sealed, at least. I don't know for sure yet in draft. Is because they can blow people out pretty bad with stuff like that, and just their base power level of their uncommons is so high.
And speaking of blowing out someone, I had an opponent cast Return of the Wild Speaker, mode draw equal to like highest power with one creature that I baked into a pie. And then there's
So
That card sucks.
when your opponent tries to pump a creature with an adventure spell and then you kill it, that's a 3-for-1, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, Hypno Sprite. Oof.
Hypno Sprite, yeah.
And its mana cost is easy. It's 1 blue, 2 colorless on the counter side. Yeah, sure, it's double blue to cast the 2/1 flyer part.
That can wait.
But that could wait. Exactly. Like, the card just so good. I don't know. It's like the only reason I've really enjoyed playing blue decks so far in this format. And then you get to pick it up with a card that's also on our list, which is Runaway Together.
Runaway Together, incredibly good in this format.
This format is awesome. And also another reason why I don't like, none of us, like white.
Mhm.
Because Trapped in the Tower and all these other cards looking pretty bad versus Runaway Together.
Very, very playable blue common that a lot of blue decks are going to be playing. It interacts incredibly well with a ton of your creatures in your deck.
Tome Raider.
Yeah. It's just adventure cards, obviously.
Yep.
Can be kind of awkward because a lot of the creatures in this set have either an adventure or some relevant ETB. So there's not a lot of creatures you feel particularly good about bouncing on your opponent's side of the field. But at the same time, there's a lot of games where your opponents are trying to pump things to get an adventure half of their creature card in their hand, and bouncing those ones are crazy. So it's one of those cards that can be a 10, and it's never really
that bad.
Really that bad.
Yeah, card impressed me, and normally I don't think it'd be that good. But I think in this format, it actually lines up super well, and it's a really tricky card. But yeah, like I said, being able to pick up like Hypno Sprites and stuff is very good.
Yeah, you just like inherently, its design is card disadvantaged, so you got to make sure that you're picking up something that makes that worth it. But otherwise, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've also got Keeper of Fables on this list.
That card is Stone Cold Bomb.
5 mana green cat 4/5. Whenever one or more non-human creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card.
Yeah, so this card, like its design is inherently card advantage, so you just got to make sure you're casting it.
This is what we would call a dead ringer.
Yeah, this one just
is a dead ringer. This card's insane. Like if you have red-green Grumgully Keeper of Fables, your deck, bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have one of those cards. But yeah.
Your deck, nuts.
This thing's very annoying. It demands an answer immediately. Otherwise, it starts attacking past most things.
It's just huge. You like to see green sets where green's just big. You know, that's what it should be doing. That should be what green does. Mm-hmm. But I noticed there's actually quite a few creatures and ways for green to get a lot of card draw in this format. You know, there's the
a surprising amount,
whenever one of your more creatures deal combat damage, like this guy, the Keeper of Fables. But there's also the Green Hoser, like Okame Adversary or whatever, that also draws cards. Green actually has some sneaky ways to get a lot of advantage in
Speaking
this set.
of green card draw, what is the design of Once and Future? Like, this card confuses me because, like, normally that type of effect, returning things from the graveyard on a green card, returns creatures or permanents.
Well, like, no, Reclaim gets anything, right?
Sure, but, like...
No, it's always been, like, a...
Anything from the graveyard? Okay.
Green has an old history of playing these and like alpha and stuff even, I think.
Okay.
But it is like unusual.
Right. But this is, okay, so this is a very good version of that effect though. This is just 4 mana, basically always pick up 2 cards from your graveyard. And because it can be anything, as I was commenting, every time I've cast this, it's 4 mana for 2 removal spells.
Yeah, because playing black-green food, you just have Bake into a Pie and Reef Soul and you just pick those 2 up.
Or just, any removal spell in any color, like...
Yeah, no, Demonic Tutor for 2 cards you've cast is insane.
It's very, very good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cards like this in Sealed. I think Order of Midnight style cards, one of my favorite cards are Soul Salvage style cards. Just 3 mana, return 2 creatures from your graveyard to your hand.
Yeah.
I think those cards in Limited are bananas.
Yeah, Order of Midnight. Yeah, absolutely bananas. The even the black one, Forever Young, is it? You can put it on top of your deck, then draw a card, any number of creatures. So that
card's meat. It's okay.
It's fine because like it can just cycle early, which is totally fine. It's sort of an anti-mill card in its own way, which I've sideboarded in a lot, which is kind of funny. A lot of definitely interesting designs on commons in this set, and a lot of really powerful ones. Like I said before, I've been having some fun playing this format, and I didn't touch M20 or War of the Spark Limited. I did not play a single game in either.
M20 was pretty
You
good.
missed out. M20 was great.
War
you
sucks.
didn't miss out on War, though.
War.
Oh, God, that set was a train wreck.
War, always miserable. Never changes.
That format was so bad. And I don't know anyone who disagrees with me on this. Everyone I've talked to is like, yes, that's horrible.
Some people tried to disagree at first, and then I think they all changed their tune.
They all changed their tune. They're like, yeah, just playing against Planeswalkers every round when they got theirs and I was behind on board and just nothing I ever did again mattered. It's like, yep, yeah, exactly. Playing against Planeswalkers is miserable. But this set seems okay though,
Yeah, that's
I'm
all we
still
got.
a little new, but we'll do hopefully like an archetype draft. We'll do our classic draft breakdown. Hopefully sooner than later.
So we played a lot more of it, yeah.
Yeah, we just haven't had a chance to play draft. The set's so new. I mean, it's release weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This weekend. What do you want from us? Give us a week or 2.
But I guess so far my overall impression, as we've sort of been hinting on, I don't want to be in white if I can avoid it. I want to be in black almost always, either black, blue, or black, green. Those archetypes have been the ones that have impressed me the most. Just green because of its card quality, black because of its removal, blue because of its ability to draw me more black cards. And red I actually haven't played with a ton, so I don't know.
Red's good.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining the club this week. Make sure, as always, you check out wizardtower.com for all your Magic single needs. Be sure to sign up for the second DWC organizational. Check out the link in the show notes here or on our Facebook page, the Disorganized Wizard Club Podcast, or over at DWC Podcast 1 on Twitter. However you listen to the show, whether it's Podbean, iTunes, any podcast app, or Spotify, leave a review, rate the podcast, share it with your friends. Everything helps this thing grow, bring it to new listeners. And if you want to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/DWC Podcast. All patrons get access to the DWC Discord, our unedited DWC pre-show before every episode. We have other cool benefits. Just got restocked on custom DWC tokens.
Finally, we're shipping them out, loyal listeners. We got a pile in Cam's hand right now to take to the post office.
And boy, do I have envelopes.
All right. Anyone who's in GPA Montreal this weekend, come say hi. We're going to be there battling.
That's what's up.
Thank you for listening. We'll catch you next week.
We'll be easy to spot this time. We got DWC shirts.
Oh, hell yeah.